Now that I've given a brief description of how I study a paper, I would like to show you with a paper that I had presented once. So this paper is a paper by Robert H. Porter. It's on cartel stability. So this is the paper that I am talking about. It's a bit of a lengthy paper. So you can see it's a study of cartel stability, the Joint Executive Committee 1880 to 1886, Robert H. Porter, the Bell Journal of Economics. So it does give you the main ideas of the paper. So this is the title of the paper, this is the author, this is the journal, and you have this as the year. What I also do is I go over to Google Scholar. So this is if you don't have Google Scholar, you just go over to Google, you type Google Scholar, that shows this page, and then you type the title of the paper or just basic something, and it shows you the paper. Then you go over to this little cite button over here. There's a quote above it, beside it. So you go to the site and it pops up different citation styles. So MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver. I usually go for the APA style. And what I do is I keep this noted in my notes. So it helps when you have this at one glance, because a lot of the times we might need to arrange papers in order of year, or in when we need to look for a particular paper with the authors, then it helps filtering out, because I put them in my Notion database. So this I usually keep track of that. It's not necessarily essential for reading a paper, but I would always suggest that. So now that you have the idea of the paper, you go for the headings. So what you do is you take a piece of paper or your digital note and you start writing number 1, introduction, number 2, the Joint Executive Committee, number 3, the econometric model, number 4, the data, number 5, results and interpretations, number 6, summary, and you leave out the reference section. You only go for the reference section if you're going for a very deep literature review. In that case, that helps you getting newer papers to read. So the main idea is, when ID is like what your name is, so it does not tell you about anything details about the paper, so you just know who the person is. Now you're starting to know the personality of the person, what they like, what they don't like. So when you look at these headings, they give you a brief idea of what the paper essentially is. See, when I see the econometric model, it means this paper has an empirical side to it. Not all papers have an econometric model. Some papers may have a literature review, in which case I would know that there are a lot of papers mentioned. Then I would go over to the reference section and I would check that there are a lot of papers. See, there are not many papers, which means this is a very highly empirical paper. Then you see this abstract, you go through this abstract in detail. So this article employs weekly time series data, so you know it's a time series empirics of the Joint Executive Committee. The time period is in 1880 to 1886. Empirically, test empirically the proposition, so it gives you the proposition, what it's trying to prove. Observed prices reflected switches from collusive to non-cooperative behavior. This is what the paper is trying to talk about. An equilibrium model of dynamic oligopoly with asymmetric firms, together with explicit functional forms assumptions about costs and demand, determines the estimating equations and stochastic structure of the econometric model. Then you have the hypothesis, which says no switch took place, so that price and quantity movements were solely attributable to exogenous shifts in the demand and cost functions, is then tested, and this hypothesis was rejected. So it gives you a sort of a screenshot of what the paper is and even what its conclusion is. So you know that this hypothesis is going to be rejected. Then you go through the details of the introduction. You as I have read the paper, I know that this idea of a smoking gun, I would say this is not very important for the paper, for this particular paper, but what it helped me is to pitch my paper when I was presenting it. It sort of grabs the audience's attention, so you can get little words that will help you to present your paper, make it more interesting. So you go through the details of the introduction then, but if you feel like this introduction is too long, then you can go through a brief reading and make very short notes of it and move on to the conclusion section, which is the summary in this paper. So you move on to the summary and you start making very light notes of the paper. Now the next thing that you do is, if so we have, particularly because it's an empirical paper, I would postpone the econometric model for the last. So the third section is what is going to be the last section of the paper. Next, what I would go is, it depends on my mood in particular. If I am going for history, like the history of the paper, I would read the Joint Executive Committee. This is the part which describes what the Joint Executive Committee is, why it is relevant for a cartel, so on and so forth. Basically, the story or the idea, why this particular case study of sort was taken. Then I go for data. Data is quite important. What it says, it talks about the variables that it has taken. So it has a quantity variable, it has a price variable, it has quite a few dummies here, and it is describes what the dummies stand for, then some assumptions of the model, and basically the structure, the empirical foundation of the paper. So we have done the introduction, we have done the JEC, we have skipped over the econometric model, and we have moved over to the data. Next, I would go for the results and interpretations. That gives you the destination of your paper, what it's trying to reach. So it tells you what the estimation results are. So it gives you the estimates of the variables that it has considered, and this paper in particular, this table I found to be very interesting. So I read through this paper, and this part becomes a slightly complicated econometric model. Then, because I know that result, I now know that the econometric model is going to be a little bit difficult. So now I slowly, very slowly start reading the econometric model. I go through the equations. Now it does not seem that intimidating because I know why the paper is taking the model like this. So I know that there's going to be a demand side and a supply side because I've gone through the results. And they are going to look at the equilibrium values and see how it changes over time. There's a lot of new, very like advanced econometric techniques that have been used, Kiefer estimation, so on and so forth. So if I do not, because I know the results, I know whether the Kiefer estimation is extremely crucial for the paper or not, or whether the technique, knowing the theory of the technique, is important or not. So that helps me understand what I need to focus on. In most cases, you do not need to know the entirety of the paper unless you are like doing a PhD on cartel itself. So it helps you decide on what you want to focus on, and that is how I in particular read academic papers. Again, to recall a little bit, it depends on whether your subject is theoretical or analytical, or whether you're doing a literature review or a presentation. But in most cases of the videos that I have seen as well in YouTube of how to read academic papers, this is sort of a very main structure of reading academic papers. So I hope that helped you. Thank you.